Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we are back on the road and we're doing the American battleship tech tree from the very beginning because I have absolutely nothing unlocked. Which means the ship we're looking at right over here is the South Carolina. Now just to prove my point, you see, one whole road up to Montana through all the states completely to be driven by us. So, first, the rules are just as the same as I did on my road to Des Moines. We are unlocking the ship together. I've never played it before. I have no idea how it's going to play. You will get my very first impressions. And they might not necessarily be, the correct way to play the ship or the best way to play the ship, but you get my first impressions. We unlock things together and we grind our way probably relatively slowly through the American battleship tree, because I've got a couple of other things that I'm busy working on, like the German ships, and I've been playing a couple of Japanese cruisers lately. So there's going to be some mix and match. We're going to not be that super quick on doing this, but it's a bit more of a scenic route, like a slow drive if you want. So, the South Carolina, Tier 3 American battleship. The South Carolina is actually, the original South Carolina was actually relatively famous because, well, she was the first American dreadnought ship, and they were super busy at the time producing battleships. Like they were already 2 generations ahead with their planning when they weren't finished building the the previous ones yet. And the South Carolina had something relatively unusual for battleships at the time. So you see the British dreadnought and the German ships at the time had these wing configurations for their main guns. So they would have the main guns on the sides of the ship, some of them, which means you can't fire a full broadside because, well, the whole superstructure is in the way. The Americans didn't do that. They decided to make a very small ship and relatively economic in terms of, well, amounts of materials needed, and they put super firing turrets, which is not something somebody else had at the time. So you see the B turret up here in front can actually fire over the A turret, and they can swing all the way around, which means, well, you may only have 8 guns in this thing, but you can point them either way. The problem, though, they had with the size, and this is a really small battleship, is that with 4 main batteries and their respective ammunition storages and barbettes and everything, they didn't have much time for engines. And I think that shows. So we shall see. Well, first we're going to research this ship. Now, I'm going to spend some free XP here because I am certainly not going to grind a Tier 2 cruiser for this. Let's purchase this ship. South Carolina, the very first battleship. So this is what you get when you are starting the game afresh. Now, I've been wondering if I'm going to pull the captain of the Texas, because I do have the Texas here, and she has a captain. Let's have a quick look. He's a Tier 5 captain, so this is actually not super terrible. I might just do that and pull him off into duty for the line, so the grind gets a little bit quicker. So let's do that. Let's get him. Look at that. I've got heaps of American commanders. I'm not even sure what to do with all of these people. But that's fine. We get somebody else to do the Texas, and we'll just pull him off and assign him here. Okay. So he gets all his things. We just pulled him off a premium ship. So there's no retraining necessary. Okay, auto resupply on the consumables. And let's get this thing upgraded. And let's get the main guns up. Secondaries, and the fire control. Okay, so with that all said, what do we got? We've got 25,000 hit points, 10%, 10%, 12. So decent armor for the time. I mean, it's a Tier 3 ship, so most things you're encountering are cruisers anyway, and destroyers actually, which is going to be fun. Maximum speed, 17.5 knots. Yeah, that's kind of what I said. They didn't have space for the engines in this thing because they had so much space to they actually had so little space to start with, and most of it went into the gun turrets. So they have a relatively small engine space, which means they did not have this thing is well, it's basically stationary. But we do have 305mm guns. We only have 8 of them, but because of the arrangement we can actually fire all 8 of them in the same direction, which gives us the same firepower than the other tier 3 ships have at the time, like the Japanese or the German or the British Dreadnought for that matter. What else? We've got 76mm secondaries. So at the time they thought this was an all big gun design. So they figured the secondaries are there to keep torpedo boats away. And they figured 76mm guns were going to be enough. Well, they weren't, but they rectified that in a subsequent design because they went through quite a couple of iterations during that time. So we only have the 76mm secondaries. We've got loads of them, but they don't do very much. And we actually have some anti-aircraft guns on this thing, which is probably means this is one of the later refits, because I'm fairly certain these things didn't come with anti-aircraft defense at all in the beginning. But well, at the time planes weren't considered that much of a danger anyway. So elite bonus, what can we do? We can give him more hit points or reduce torpedo damage. What's our torpedo damage? Torpedo damage is at 12. I'm going to take the hit points because we can actually have a module for torpedo damage reduction, and we're in tier 3. There are not many modules available anyway. Ship hit points is not something we can actually module up. So now we've almost got 26,000, which brings us to the equipment. Oh, actually, we do have the main battery reload already at tier 3. That's good. Let's use that, because what is our base reload? Let's see. 21 seconds. Yeah, let's go with that. And we're going with the main battery reload. I'll probably just use the generic damage control system, fire flooding resist, because we do have a lot of HE firing cruisers around here. And a 5% speed boost really... Should we do that? Again, what's our speed? 17 something? 17.5 knots? So we'll probably get... we'll just get up to 18 knots, really. It's not that much of a difference. Now, given how many destroyers happen around tier 3, I'm actually going to use the torpedo defense mod. And we get ourselves a little bit better torpedo protection. We're at 13.8% now, damage reduction, which is a good thing to have. So, supplies. We want crew rations, we want the maintenance, and we probably want the refined diesel, because that's pretty much all that makes sense. Now, you could argue, do you really want to load supplies onto a tier 3 ship? And yeah, usually you wouldn't, but I might as well. I mean, I've got the silver to pay for it, honestly. And we're not going to be with this thing for very long, because the grind through tier 3 is relatively quick. I just really wanted to not skip over it, which is what I would usually do if I was just playing by myself. But I just wanted to do this from the very beginning, step by step. And I also kind of like the South Carolina for, well, her fame, really. So that's this ship. How are we going to play her? Well, she's extremely slow, but she doesn't have, obviously, at tier 3 you don't get any ship skills. But she gets some big guns, so we got good armor piercing, so we'll see if we can do something against cruisers. Okay, let's go and have our very first battle in this ship. Okay, it looks like we're facing mostly bots. We're bottom tier, there's a Wyoming on the enemy team, and a cruiser. The rest is all bots, so we don't even have to worry about destroyers. Yeah, it's a bit lonely on the server today. I don't know if maybe it's the Mondays. Nobody really wants... Hope everyone's busy. Okay, full speed ahead, and we pre-aim the gun turrets to the right, and turn a little bit. Yeah, we don't want to go too wide, because it's going to take us forever to get back again in case the enemy team decides to go all the other way. But it's mostly cruisers. There's one tier 4 battleship. This is going to be the one where we're going to have a little bit of fun. Who's with us actually at this point? There's an I don't know how to pronounce that. Ichizuchi. Ishizushi. I don't know. If anybody from Japan listens in, any pointers on how to pronounce these things, much appreciated. Okay. We got a couple of targets here, but none of them is particularly broadsiding. Where are you going? Where are you going? Well, let's fire at you here. You look a much closer target. Okay. So our range on the secondaries, 4.8. Okay, that's one hit. One hit on the Tenryu. Let's see if we can use the secondaries here. Oh, we got a fire. Nice. Okay. Now these are Japanese destroyers. If these were players, I wouldn't be doing this, but these are bots, so let's see if he decides which way he wants to go. Okay. No citadels. Okay, but doesn't really matter because we're taking his health away. Get that one burnt down. And there's the Wyoming. So I probably want to slow down a little bit, because I want to deal with these guys first before I'm going to have to deal with him. Okay, guns reloaded. Oh, come on. That was my kill. Okay, there's a Phoenix coming up. And there's another Tenryu. So, it's Phoenix spot. That's some secondary fire out. These secondaries were notoriously inaccurate. Okay, primaries out. Well, that's mostly over penetrations actually. At 3 kilometers. Oh, it's not too great. We didn't set that on fire. Somebody else did. Okay. Let's speed up again because at this point... Okay, he's dead. Let's just use our secondaries. He is down. Oh, okay, the blah. The Japanese battleship is actually coming with me. So that sounds it's about time to get fire out on that Wyoming over there. Let's see what we can do at 9 kilometers. Okay, we got plenty of time. One pen, what was that, an overpen or a semi, and one bounce. Yep, he's shooting back. Well, that's fine. So we don't want to give too much broadside, but we've got the where's the Japanese battle? He's going back. Is he going back? Okay. Oh, well then. Okay, guns out. And we turn away a little bit. Oh, he's much slower than I thought, but we can penetrate him from here. Full speed ahead. And you see, this is why you angle your ships. Now we slow down again and get his aim off track. Okay, I need to give less lead because this thing is dog slow. Okay. Man, that's relatively reliable plunging fire. Okay, let's keep doing this. Actually, yeah, we need to sink something because... Okay, he probably hasn't seen that I'm going backwards. So let's go forwards again. You can throw players off that way. Ah, Citadel, nice. You can throw players off that way by just varying your speed, which is not something they expect. It makes it really hard for them to hit you. Okay, let's heal up a bit and see if we can close the distance. Okay, he's probably still extremely slow. Yes, he is. Still too much lead that I'm giving here. Okay, but he's down to half base. Yeah, you go and defend our base. I'll deal with this Wyoming here. Let's see if we can beat this guy. Okay, another Citadel. Nice. Okay, let's close in and get this sealed. You need to kill that cruiser. There you go. Well done. And now we need to... We're even on score. Almost in range of the secondaries. Okay, let's rush him. Oh, he's speeding up. Okay, secondaries out. But he's low on health. So now we just brawl. Okay, we got a fire on him. Is he going to damage con that? Yes, he is. But we got the primaries back and the secondaries, and that should be it. There we go. Haha. Tier 4 battleship my backside. Okay. Now there was a DD around here somewhere. So let's load the high explosive in case we still get to see him. Oh, there he is. Hello. back. Excuse me while I turn this thing around. I'm not going to get a shot off anymore, am I? Okay, we're leading on points as long as this player over there doesn't get sunk. If he can manage to survive, because there's a Caledon over there. Yeah, I would love to help, but I had a battleship to sink. Yeah, this is not gonna rage. I'm just gonna kind of fire in this general direction. But we should have this. Yep, we did it. We sunk a tier 4 battleship with this. You see, not sailing in a straight line actually gets you relatively far in early tiers when people are not so sure how to aim quite yet. Okay. I don't feel too terrible about this. But we did 45,000 damage. We came up top of the team. We did, what did we do? We did 2 citadels. I mean, I don't know, look at that. 2 citadels, 2 fires. Not terrible. So, yes, this thing is very slow. So, you kind of have to know where to aim it, where to point it at. Because, you know, it's not really that great if you end up being on one side of the map and your team decides, the enemy team decides to push the other side, and then you're like, okay, what am I going to do now? Because, you know, the range with 10 kilometers isn't that great that you could just shoot across the map. So you kind of have to position yourself strategically a little bit in these things with very slow ships, and make sure that you know what you're up against, and you've got some targets coming your way, basically. But so far, that was not bad. I like this ship. This was quite neat. And I think it's not going to take me very long to get the, 7,500 XP for the Wyoming. Basically, yeah, another 6 games like that and we almost got it. So next up is going to be the Wyoming. But for now, that's it for today. Don't really want to bore you with me shooting up bots anymore. So that's it for today. I'll throw a couple of, I have a couple of videos that are maybe not good for full features for Thursday. So I might scatter them around during the weeks and just upload them as they come. And you know, give you smaller things in between the main features on Thursdays. So that's it for today in the very, very beautiful South Carolina. And we are on the road. Okay, last thing before we go. What's the target? Yes, we have to do that in the first game. There she is. Montana, the Monty. 47,000 hit points, 30% fire and flooding resistance. Although I'm not that excited about that anymore. And a very average damage reduction. A decent torpedo damage. 12 406mm guns. So she gets smaller guns than the Yama, but in return she gets an extra turret. 12 of them. This thing has a brutal broadside. My goodness. If these 406s are as punchy as they sound. A nice array of secondaries. A murderous anti-aircraft armament. So that's what we're going to look forward to. And get rapid reload, which is why, again, I pulled the captain of the Texas, because he already has this skill. The fire supremacy. If you're getting rapid reloads, it gives you an additional rapid reload, which is super useful, especially on ships which don't get that many to start with. So even the Monty only gets 2 rapid reloads. So having 3 of them and making use of them during the battle gives you a great boost. And I've really seen this on the Texas. She really just started to shine once I had the rapid reload skill on the captain. Once I had the fire supremacy skill on the captain. So very, very useful skill. Unfortunately, I had to sacrifice the survivalist for it, which is actually a really good skill for battleships. But I think the fire supremacy outweighs this at this point. Which is why I have the Victorious Charge, and Generalist is going to become the next one, which restores a little bit of HP. But yes, Rapid Reload is super useful and has given my Texas a great boost in terms of just raw firepower. So that's the American battleship line, and that's the road that we're going to take all the way up to the mighty Monty. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next time. Terry out. Bye.